kick, hack, and shoot your way through Dying Light the Beast like a zombie executing pro with these 11 tips we wish we knew before playing. Dying Light the Beast was originally envisioned as a DLC expansion to Dying Light 2. However, over the course of the years, it has increased in scope into a standalone title. Check out our Everything to Know video for full details on how this came to pass. So you might be wondering, is this actually a full game or a glorified expansion? There is plenty of meat on the bone in the Beast, but it's more compact than its numbered predecessor. Our reviewer Mark Delaney managed to complete the entire game's story and most of the side content in the mid 30-hour range. The Beast really puts the pressure on players in numerous ways, more so than any previous Dying Light. One of those is removing some of the comforts of other open-world titles. Unlike in previous entries, there are no fast travel options. To get around, you either have to run or find a vehicle for the longer stretches of open land. There are also no respecking options. Once you pick a skill, you are stuck with it. Of course, like past games, things only get tougher at night, with limited visibility and the deadliest volatiles in the series to date. However, you are rewarded handsomely for being a night owl with double XP. You have the ability to change the time of day by resting at one of the various safe houses you unlock over the course of the game. We recommend mostly attempting side activities at night, missions with lower stakes that won't be as frustrating to fail in comparison to, say, a mainline quest. Also, don't forget your UV flashlight like I constantly did. It can be great in buying you a couple of seconds to escape when the horde is nipping at your heels. This is a tried and true tip for all Dying Light games, but especially in the Beast, where Kyle Crane, all juiced up on zombie steroids, has the most powerful kick to date. I'm serious, this game's dropkick might change the definition of yeeting. Even the game's basic kick is really helpful, as it not only prevents a zombie from attacking, but can knock them to the ground, knock them into other zombies, knock them into dangerous elements, knock them off a roof, and even leave open a small window for you to execute a quick and clean finisher. How well you do in Dying Light the Beast relies mostly on how well you can manage your stamina, which is more important than it has ever been. Nearly everything you do, from attacking to blocking and yes, kicking, affects it. However, running doesn't. So if you're in a chase, rest easy knowing that Kyle Crane is the Forrest Gump of video game protagonists. If you do run out of stamina and you're in the middle of a brawl, you're not entirely out of options. When attempting to dodge on depleted stamina, Kyle will fall back and down on the ground. While not optimal, this often can buy you a couple of seconds to catch your breath, literally as his stamina meter fills up. You can also still block when exhausted, but it'll prevent you from gaining your stamina back. All this is to say, try to view the Beast's combat like a dance, and the stamina gauge like a rhythm game. If your actions become out of sync with how the gauge is depleting and refilling, you're going to have a bad time. While the Beast allows you to pick up and use firearms, the majority of the weapons you'll be utilizing in the game are melee-based, and they come in both one-handed and two-handed variations. One-handed weapons swing faster and consume less stamina, while two-handed weapons offer an increase in attack power. While there are numerous factors, such as weapon mods and durability level, that will play a factor in what weapon you pick, in general, you should favor two-handed melee weapons over single. The trade-off in speed and stamina consumption isn't a huge difference, while the increased damage in weapons of a similar level is. While we often think of aiming reticles in video games in service of firearms, the reticle in Dying Light the Beast is important for the game's parkour and melee combat as well. Lining the reticle up with a ledge as you make a large jump could mean the difference between catching it at the last moment or falling to your doom. Likewise, while mindlessly hacking at zombies with little thought to where your aiming works in a pinch, Like with stamina, be as mindful as possible. If you aim for the head, make sure you're not going to swing your blade just over their cranium. Aiming for the legs is a great way to attack a zombie, as they're a much bigger target and can often sweep infected off their feet, buying you precious seconds. In the game, you'll be getting into a lot of quick time events where zombies will try to gnaw at you, and you'll either have to push them off, or if you have a shank, take them out with the blade. You may think that you're safe from attack when one of these events kicks off, but in the Beast, a second zombie can actually stack upon the first, making for an even more stressful encounter. So keep your wits about you regarding how many infected are actually around when one of their ranks latches onto you. Getting into a flow state with Dying Light's parkour since the very first game has always been one of the franchise's biggest draws. When you're given a quest objective on the other side of the map, the world is designed in such a way for you to run along rooftops directly to it, with jumps, ledges, and poles perfectly aligned so you don't lose momentum. However, another big aspect of the Beast is resource gathering, whether that be scrap to upgrade weapons or valuables to sell in return for cold hard cash. You will want to take the time to loot as much as you can, as the game only knows the word abundance when it comes to its zombies. If you're on a run and the next building that you're hopping onto the roof of has an open window, duck inside and rummage around for loot. You can never have too much. Of course, loot can be scavenged off of the infected you defeat in addition to being found inside the Beast's derelict structures. However, while every enemy corpse can be looted, that doesn't mean you'll actually find anything on them. In fact, a good portion will have nothing on them. So while it can feel like you're raking in the scrap, keep an eye on what you're actually picking or not picking up. The more bodies there are, the more possibilities for loot, but searching corpses can be monotonous. Instead, if you've taken out a horde, run away slightly from their cadavers and then loop back. The game quickly despawns fallen foes, and in their place will leave a lovely little package for you to quickly snatch up rather than slowly fumbling through each infected's pockets. New to Dying Light the Beast is the titular Beast mode, where Kyle Crane can put aside the weapons and tear through zombies with his bare hands. While this might sound like an OP move, Beast mode doesn't last very long and is more so a tool for hitting the eject button on a sticky situation rather than a reliable mechanic to mow through hordes. To enter Beast mode, you need to fill a gauge. You do so by dealing melee damage or having damage dealt to you, but you should know that using guns doesn't increase your accumulation at all. The most effective weapons are those that you can equip with mods. Early on in the game, those are going to be most easily acquired by buying blueprints from vendors. However, you still need resources in order to craft them. If you don't have those resources, fear not. The vendor is usually stocked up with just the right amount of what you need to craft the different blueprints they sell. Considering that mods are one of the most important items you can get in the game, it's worth spending your limited cash supplies when necessary to acquire said resources. And those are 11 tips we wish we knew before playing Dying Light the Beast. For everything on Developer Techland's latest, stay right here on GameSpot.